All right, guys, welcome to the Power Half Hour. Thank you for being patient with me. We are now live on Facebook and live on Zoom. Today we have our very own and very, very special guests, very, very special people to me in my life, my big brother and my big sister. I just absolutely love these two. And they are going to share their amazing story today with you, the ups and downs of real estate, the mindset to get through all that, to go from receivership to 140 deals and 1.4 million. They've seen it all, guys. So without further ado, welcome Pablo and Simone.
Hi, John. Thanks for having us on.
Hey, guys.
Oh man, I'm super excited today. You guys had an amazing story, and you know, obviously a lot of us on the call know you guys, but for those of you guys who don't know Simone and Pablo, they are top producing Calgary agents and have been crushing sales for the last how long? 14 years?
10 years.
10 years. Got it. So, you know, I met you guys. I think 2014 or 13 when you guys were doing the high level production, and you know, then the market crashed in Calgary. And you had told me that before that you guys went through another crash, obviously the 08-09 debacle, and you came out of that, you know, gave back the company, and then you tell us a little bit about that journey and the mindset to get through all that and come out on top.
I appreciate the question. You know, they say you can't appreciate your highs unless you've seen the lows, right? Everything's relative. And we have seen some lows in our life for sure, right? And it's been an emotional couple of days for us. We've had a lot of things going on professionally and personally. It's been a blast. We're truly blessed. And we certainly wouldn't be here without all of the people on this call and more. We've just had an amazing journey. So we're on another ride, and we love going on these rides. The first one was our business prior to real estate, where we did real estate investment. And what that meant was raising capital from the general public for real estate backed projects. So we would do seminars and presentations and show people how they could invest in real estate. And we raised a lot of money in real estate activities. And then of course, 2008, 2009, if you remember what happened, there was a major economic meltdown, and our business, we lasted about a year after that, after the stock market collapsed. And then we had a meeting with our lawyer to say, like, what do we do? And he said, well, what are your numbers? What's going on? And I said, well, we're this and we're spending that and we've got this and that. And he just goes, you're done. Pack it up tonight. You're done tomorrow. And 36 employees, we had to let everybody go that night. We packed up whatever we could pack up and moved out. And the next day the receivers came and shut down the whole company.
Wow.
And I'm kind of doing a lot of the speaking because I know Simone doesn't like talking about this too much. So, you know, the next day went into receivership. We left that company with $750,000 of personal debt. Now that wasn't like a mortgage or anything else. That was $750,000 that we personally owed. The company owed millions. Oh, we owed $750,000. So talk about having a desire to get out of trouble. You know, it's like, I use the analogy sometimes of, if somebody says, hey, can you climb up this tree? You'd be like, there's no way I'm climbing up that tree. You're in the woods and you turn around and you see a bear, you're going to climb that tree so fast that,
yeah,
right? You don't even think about it. So we were climbing the tree in 2010.
Yeah.
2009, end of 2009 and into early 2010. And we knew some realtors that we had dealt with during that time of liquidating assets and buying assets and all that. And we said, you know, these realtors, they've got it good. Have you ever heard people say this? It was like, those realtors, they got it good. Like,
yeah,
it's easy.
It's easy, right? They make money in an up market or a down market. You know, whether I win or lose as the buyer seller, those guys always make money. And we thought, that's where we got to be. And so we had about $10,000 left on a credit card, and we used that to get Simone licensed and start the dues, like
we got the Smart One license
we got
first.
the Smart One license, yeah. The Shark. And we couldn't afford to get me licensed at the time, and so I was helping some friends start a business of theirs, and they were paying me like $5,000 a month. So that was like covering the mortgage payment, and we were just kind of getting by, but we had the debt. And on top of that, which a lot of people don't know, is one of the biggest challenges during that time. We had 2 young kids as well. Our girls were like
5 and 6.
5 and 6 at the time. And because of what had happened with the investments, there was a lot of investors who lost money, and they all pointed the finger at us as if we had stolen or lost the money. And similar companies to us had stolen millions of dollars from their investors. And we, of course, everything was on the books. Everything was perfect. We had perfect accounting. Didn't steal a dime, everything was good. But during that time, somebody posted our address on an internet forum, and we had death threats. We had people driving by our house slowly, taking pictures. Our office was like, our home office was at the front of our home. And, we had nights or evenings where somebody would drive by slowly, and we would get out of the office and move to the back of the home.
But it might have been a lot of stories.
It was a lot of stories, but you cook stuff up in your head. It was a scary time, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And we're starting in real estate. I was thinking about this morning when I was getting ready, and there's this book called Lucky or Smart. And they say, you look at realtors sometimes, you're like, oh, those people, they must have had a break. They must have known somebody in the industry or in the business, right? Somehow they're just talented, they're lucky, right? We had nothing when we started real estate. No leads, no business, and we had the internet saying these people are crooks and shysters and don't ever deal with them.
Oh,
so we had a negative going into.
Boy, that's a nice story.
I know, guys. That's incredible what you guys went through. I mean, I'm thinking back to my own story. I was, 2009, I was $80,000 in debt. And I thought the world was ending, and I had to do whatever it takes, no matter what, I was going to make it work. Talk about $700,000 in debt. What was going on up here, and how did you both get through that and come out on top?
Yeah, I think that for me, fortunately, whenever crisis hits, I go into action. So I'm just one of those people that I might break down later, but during like when the shit's hitting the fan, if I can say that, I go. Like, it's just my nature. Whereas Pablo maybe or others might just need to take a step back. I was go time. So we just got in the first 6 months, I would open house 5 or 6 days a week.
Wow.
So for the first 6 months that I was licensed, I wasn't doing anything else. I had to make $750,000 net to pay back the debt that we owed. So what else are you gonna do, right? We had kids to feed. We had, bills to pay. So that's what you do. And then we got Pablo licensed in July of 2010.
Yeah, so 6 months later,
6 months
I got
later,
licensed.
and then we both just gave her. So in our first year, we ended up with 36 transactions closed.
Wow.
Our second year, we went up to 56. Then I think we hit around 82 deals, and then we went to 102, and then it went up from there.
Oh.
So we just got into coaching. We plugged in. I know Tsai was talking about aligning with the right people, plugging in, being committed. We did that solid for 8 years.
8 years. Wow. Just grinding real estate sales. And guys, if you don't know Simone from before, she's a lot softer today. She's a lot kinder. When I first met her, guys, she was an absolute killer. You could feel her power like 2 rooms away. You know what I mean? And she's a driver, and when she's under pressure, it's even more driver. So yeah. I just want you guys to know, who you guys are aligning with. And I've been, it's such a pleasure working with you guys. I can, utilize that power in my own life. So thank you for that. And so getting out of that, and then now coming into, EXP, I wanted to also ask your experience in coming over, and what was before that, and what is it like now for you guys?
Oh my God. Okay, I got to take this one. Is that
Sure,
okay?
please.
So before EXP, so we joined EXP December 12th, 2018. Before that, we had to hit another market collapse in our market, which is Calgary, Alberta, because of the oil collapse in October 2014. That was right, eh? October 2014, doesn't matter, ish. So we went through 2 collapses, and fortunately we had all our debt paid by that time. So you can imagine within 4.5 years, how much money we had to make gross after expenses and net money to be able to repay and live over those years. So once we got into around 2017 and then into 2018, we were tired.
Yeah.
Like we were spent. Like it was, I know Pablo, you were starting to mentally fry.
2015 it was going to be the best year ever. 2014, we had our best year. We did $1.4 million of commissions. It was like 126 deals. We were just flying high, right? And I had made a goal for 2015 that we were going to try and crack 2 million in commissions that year. It was going to be the big, hairy, audacious goal, right? And we were excited about it. So we were pushing harder than ever. Better systems, better technology, better everything. And we were going to push really hard. And then the market didn't exactly support us. So instead of going from 1.4 to 2 million in 2015, we went down to 850,000.
Yeah.
And that for most people on this call is probably like, wow, 850,000. Wow, amazing, right? I'd love to do that. For us, it mentally kicked our ass. Wow. I mean, it really put us in a negative mindset, because when you're hoping for 2 and you get 800, it is not, you put a lot of effort and time. So 2015 wore us out even harder.
Yeah. So I think through 15, 16, 17, and then into the beginning of 18, I got into a manifesting your goals seminar, because we've always been more Mike Ferry grinding style, right? Like calling and, the grind, the treadmill. So I was looking for something else. And I know a few of my Mike Ferry friends were on the Daryl mastermind calls. So I went into that mastermind group, and of course, there's John Tsai. He's plugged into everything, right? So John was a part of that group, and that was the fall. It was this time, actually, 2018. And John was on that call talking about what he wanted to do with his business. Is that kind of right, John?
Yeah, exactly. And I was trying to decide between starting a Remax franchise or going to EXP. And Simone's like, let me help you with that decision. Right. And then I just kind of briefly shared, what it's all about versus, going to Remax. And she's like, wait a minute here. Show me some more. And then she literally was like, okay, I think I'm moving. Just give me like 10 minutes. And then she texted me back, okay, we're moving.
Yeah, I had to talk to, the one that analyzes things. So it was really the introduction by John was it was just such a nice, easy text conversation that we had. There was he was just sharing with me, and I just saw it instantly. And just like in 2009, when I had to figure out what we needed to do to make money, I knew instantly that we needed to become real estate agents. I just saw it. So now, fast forward, we moved over, John moved over, I think January 1st, John? Were you Jan 1st? Yeah, and we were just a couple weeks ahead. We moved just before Christmas, and now our lives have completely transformed.
Do you remember the first couple of months with EXP, right? The biggest thing that EXP did for us was it flipped our mindset, and we all of a sudden were excited about real estate again. What a gift, because after 3-4 years of just getting hammered mentally and it being tough, all of a sudden we were excited, we were energized, and we were fired up again. And it reignited that energy, which that's the biggest gift that EXP has given us so far, is just getting us out of the doldrum and into something that we were excited about.
Yeah, and I think most people, when they saw us through any of these years, like the last 10 years, they probably just see 2 really focused business people, just, really laser focused. But behind the scenes, as we all have in our lives, people are living other things, right? We don't always know what's going on behind closed doors. So, you know, having that new life like pushed into us through EXP in January, it was a blast. And all I kept thinking to myself is, I wonder if this is going to be real. I wonder if this whole stock thing is going to be real. I wonder if the rev share thing is actually going to be real. John says it's real, but I don't know. Let's give it a couple months.
So fast forward now, we're about 20 months in. You know, you started at 0 with EXP, and now 20 months. What does that look like now for you guys?
Yeah, well, let me just go back to 19. At the beginning, we set a goal for ourselves for 80 deals in 2019. It was January.
Mm-hmm.
And then within a month or two, we started to build our rev share group, our community, our tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pablo and I were talking to some of our mentors in EXP, and they were talking about going all in.
Mm.
And what that meant to us is maybe peeling back a little bit on our sales and spending more time supporting our group and building our rev share community. So that's what we did through 2019, is we actually dropped our goal from 80 to 50. And for us, we were just like, oh my God, it was nerve-wracking to actually do that and do a shift in your business. So that was 2019. We all know what happened in 2020. So 2020 for us happened in 2009 when we went into receivership. It happened again in 2015. So when 2020 hit with COVID,
we do this every 5 years.
We're like, we got this. This is no problem, right?
I mean, you guys are so strong mentally, and it's because of all the events that went through your life. And now we're at COVID. You're just like, no problem. You got your finances sorted. Now you're working on the rev share. I mean, it's just so many opportunities with EXP. So this is where you're at right now. Tell us what you would like it to look like 2021.
Well, you know, John, we all have goals, right? So hopefully everybody on this call has a vision board or a dream board, and they're looking at their goals every single day in front of them. We do. And I know you do too, John. And it's so funny to look at your dream board and you share it every once in a while. And it's like everything on there you have. It's exactly what you are now is what your dream board was a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. And our dream board always included freedom. And, you know, maybe it wasn't a Lamborghini for us. It was always freedom and having choice, the ability to do what we want to do at all the time that we want to do it. And, you know, that involves a lot of things, but freedom was the big one. And freedom. I think we were always chasing that with real estate sales of trying to do more deals and trying to set aside more money and trying to invest and spend and not spend. We're the worst savers in the world. Money comes in and it goes right back out. We're like the worst, you know, $1 million in commissions, and the next year you have nothing to show for it, and except for a lot of spending. So
well, you paid off 700,000. I mean,
I don't paid off debts, you know, but like saving and setting aside money. So all of a sudden here we are with all this stock that's accumulated. We can't even believe it. I didn't even know. I mean, you and I think we were on a call couple of weeks ago and I said, hey, John, did you know that your stock is worth this now? And you're like, what? And you go and check and we're like, what? Wow, this is crazy, right? So all of a sudden we're saving money. All of a sudden we're getting choices. And for us, that has been, what a blessing. And what do I want to do with my life? I want to help others. I don't necessarily get a huge kick out of doing transactional real estate anymore. Kind of been there, done that, got the t-shirt. But mentoring, training, showing others what we did to get to where we were, that's my biggest passion for sure.
And I can share this. So we went from, like I was naming the years, you can kind of see I like tracking the money and the deals, but so we had a goal of 50 in 2019, our first year at EXP. Year 2, which was the COVID year, we had a goal of 30, which we hit a couple months ago. So that put, you know, icon is always the goal, right? For, you know, when you cap plus your 20 deals. So we hit that. And 2021, actually, my goal is going to be probably anywhere around 0 to 10 deals. And we are going to be out there supporting our group, growing our rev share, showing other people how to make millions.
Yeah. So really, guys, the goal is to have our residual income take care of all of our living and business expenses. So you no longer need to sell any piece of real estate, but you might want to in the future, but you just never know. But you now have the freedom, options, and choices now with EXP. I'm
Right on.
super excited for you guys. And guys, I mean, Pablo and Simone, they know how to list and sell real estate. You know what, like guys in the group, you guys need to reach out to them too. They've done it all. They've seen it all. Like who has gone through 4 downturns in their life on this call? I certainly haven't. I've gone through one, right? And right now, I don't even know if it's a downturn, if we can call it that. But so in terms of your, we can share this, your total rev share group, what would be the goal for 2021? I just want to be excited about what you guys want to achieve.
Yeah. So my original goal as of January was 400 people total in our rev share group, or our goal. Right now we're at 151. Realistically, given that we've really ramped down our selling right now, so it's September, I probably think we'll land around 250, 275 for this year.
250, 275, awesome. And then 2021.
Yeah, we should be pushing close to 1,000 because we're going to be doing this full time.
Yes. Well, I'm super happy for you guys, and I'm here to support you. And I know Simone, you know, you guys have some personal and business stuff going on. So really, I want to thank you for being on at all. I want to open up to the group, guys. If you are going through something right now, going through tough times, Simone and Pablo have been through it all. So you know, ask away on how they got out of it. Anybody have any questions? Oh, okay. Hang on 1 second. What was your main source of lead gen?
Go ahead.
Good question. So we were raised by Mr. Mike Ferry in the real estate world. And Mike always taught us that you didn't need to advertise, that you didn't need to pay for any advertising. So we took that to heart because in our previous business, we did $1 million a year of advertising. Works like a charm, you guys. Advertising works. The bus benches, the billboards, the radio ads, all that stuff works. But when things slowed down in our old business and the money started to dry up, like the leads started to dry up, the first thing we had to cut was our huge marketing spend. And so we learned from that experience and said, you know, we didn't have any money. All we had was debt. So when Mike said, you know, you can door knock, you can cold call, you can prospect in any way like that, we said, this makes sense to us. Like there's no money, it's just time. And we had lots of time and no money. And so all of our leads came from open housing. We did that at a high level, like 5-6 days a week.
Oh.
And yeah, I know, lots of open houses. That was just the strategy. And then we started getting on the phone and prospecting, cold calling, door knocking. You door knocked. Simone's so funny. Like 1 year in the business. You remember, like anybody here who's in their first year, you know what I'm talking about. Anybody who's like more experienced, remember your first year in real estate, you're just kind of like scared and trying to figure things out and trying to understand. So Simone, year 1, she's like, I'm going to go door knocking. I'm like, oh, great. Go in the neighborhood. No, I'm going to the best neighborhood. I'm going to get the big listings, right? So she goes to, in our market, like the high-end listings are in the 5 to 10 million. Like there's maybe one house every 5 years that sells for 10 million. 5 million would be like, you know, top houses. So she goes to like that neighborhood and she walks past the gate, up the long driveway to the front door of the mansion. Dunk, 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 hi. You know, my company recently sold a home in your area and we're wondering if you'd like to sell your home. And of course, she gets this lead and they're like, yeah, we want to list our home. So we're like a year in the business, we got a $4.5 million listing. We're going,
Yeah, and what I can say about that, that doesn't just come from me inside. That came from my coaching that we put ourselves in that we couldn't afford at the time. So I wanted to have a coach and Pablo's like, but we have no money and we have lots of debt. I said, yeah, but the successful people have coaches. So what do? We got a coach, right? So my coach just said, you got to get out of your comfort zone. So was it comfortable for me? Was I sweating? Was I nervous? Did I feel like I wanted to throw up? Yes. but I did it. And then you break through those barriers, right? So then finally back to the leads, eventually we created such excellent customer service for our clients. Then our big lead source became our past clients in our sphere.
Awesome. So basically it was nonstop, never ending action for many, many years, open houses, cold calling, door knocking, whatever have you, and buying some leads as well. So basically, Suki, anything and everything you can do to get out of that situation that you're in. That's what they did. And they did whatever it took. Now, this is a great question by Money. Working together, living together, personal stress and business stress. What did you do to keep your relationship strong?
You know, well, yeah, it's never been a problem for us. We just have the highest level of respect for each other. We are complete opposites in personality. So once we finally acknowledge to each other that you do what you do well, and I won't get in your way, I won't put my fingers into your business, and likewise the other way, it's like we flow so well. Now, I don't know about other relationships, but communication for us, if there's anything that comes up, we deal with it right away and we get through it. And I think that rule can be used for everything in life. If you've got something to solve, you got to get in communication.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
Yeah, we always had this kind of philosophy that it's strange. We thought that a husband would be out working somewhere and the wife would be out somewhere working, and then they would come home and they would be like, so what did you do today? Or how was your day? Or whatever. We always thought that was a little bit strange because we work together all day and we know what we're doing all day. And since we're both like driven and focused, it's not like I'm on the couch watching TV all day and she's on the phone prospecting. You know, we're both going for it. And when we see each other in action, it fuels each other. So we pick each other up for sure.
That's awesome. Money. So basically it's about communication, and they're working together as well. You know, as couples, we all look up to you. It's tough working together in real estate. You guys have done it massively. So thank you for being an example.
And I can add in on that also, landmark education was huge for us. So for our kids, for ourselves, if you haven't done the Landmark Forum, I'd highly recommend it. I mean, that just clicked our whole family together. So
yeah, so check it out, Money. Okay, last question. What is your value proposition? Jack says, what makes you different than other realtors?
Yeah, whenever I was pitching to potential clients about that, I would very simply say that, because at the beginning we had no experience. And so we weren't like the top producing realtors at the very beginning. And I thought, how am I going to compete with all these people who have years of experience and all the business and the leads and the bus benches? And so I very simply said, well, you know, those top producing agents, and I'd use the air quotes, you know, those top producing agents out there, do you ever actually deal with them, or are you dealing with the people on their team? They're so, you know, they've been doing this for years. They're successful. That's great, but they're always on vacation. They're never really servicing you. All I do is I service you at a high level, right? So you've got this one-on-one relationship. So that's how I pitched it at the beginning. And then later on, of course, the narrative changed. And now we don't prospect at all. Like all our business comes from repeat and referral. And you know.
Our coach used to say when we first started coaching, which was a year and a half into the business, and our coach used to say, you guys like kill me, because he says, you guys are successful only based on your energy and your enthusiasm. And if you can just get out there and fake energy and enthusiasm for a period of your life, eventually it becomes who you are, and people, they gravitate towards that. So I'd say energy and enthusiasm was the big value proposition at the beginning.
Yeah. And the service, like I know that sounds cliche, like we give great service. But remember, Simone was talking about communication and how important that was in the relationship that you're dealing with. Your relationship with your clients, what's the number one thing every client asks for? Communication. Communication. So we just communicate with people at a very high level, and we can't do that all ourselves because that's a lot of communication. So we put in processes and said, you know, well, there's checklists. There's times when our administrator is going to be calling. There's times when they get an email, and everything is in a process. So we'd never dropped the ball with any of our clients, and they always had a high level of communication. With energy and enthusiasm and communication,
It's a done
why would
deal.
they go anywhere else?
It's a done deal.
Yeah.
Exactly. And look at how they look, right? Always dressed up, always with high levels of energy and enthusiasm. And Pablo talks about this all the time, Jack. Impeccable customer service. Really, it is impeccable customer service. That's your value proposition. Service your clients, and at a high level, they'll gravitate towards you. And now they have a database, Jack, that feeds them business. They no longer need to prospect. It comes to them now. Now that becomes residual income. Okay. So thank you for asking, Jack. Well, guys, as we end off and go into the fourth quarter of 2020, COVID is still here. What's one piece of great advice that you have for us and the Facebook audience that we can take to have our businesses quantum leap?
You have one? Go ahead.
I do, yeah.
I know you do.
Absolutely mindset.
Yeah.
COVID has, I'm looking, every once in a while I look at the newspaper, rarely, like I don't look at the media, but I'm hearing about all these suicides and deaths and the violence that's going on out there. 2020 has just been a kick us all in the ass kind of year, right? Like it's been tough. Yeah, there's been some successes and the real estate market's actually doing okay. So that's getting us by, but mentally we need to stay strong. And so I always have things that I do mentally, whether it's meditation or morning routine or things like that, that keep my mindset strong. Because if you get into this negativity that's going on right now, you're not going to make it.
Yeah, I would say as well, kind of to follow up with that, keep your circle tighter, really get clear on who you should be aligning yourself with. And if you need help, you got to reach out. So if you feel you're faltering in your business, that's what mentors are for. That's what John Tsai's here for, and Pablo and I, and Jack Tsai. There's so many powerful people in our group, and we are here for you. We've cleared our schedule for you, so please reach out to us.
Absolutely. And like I always say, you know what, guys, got people on the call and people are in our group, guys, you are our priority. Never hide. When your mindset's waning, when your mindset's going down, Simone, Pablo, and myself, we're all here for you. And guys, you've been there for me through my tough times. You've been my big brother and big sister. I just want to thank you for everything that you've done for myself and my family and for our whole group. And today, the Facebook audience, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us on, John. So great to see so many smiling faces, you guys. We love you.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Have a great day.
Okay, bye.
Bye.